Oh man. I'm going to start with some original thoughts that I had to something and see if I can go ahead and utilize the proper terminology to communicate with the science community and better discuss the direction cancer is headed and where understanding it and how to understand it is going to help us get to a point where we do not have to concern ourselves with the fear that it may occur. There's a difference between a deformed cell and something shadowing a cell, if that can help anybody along. Without the proper equipment and cancer patients to research, this is extremely difficult to propose from text without an exact. But where I'm starting is that physical trauma to the body, as I was researching initially, may deform the cell. And more or less in between that, depending on the type of physical trauma, your white blood cells would become how do I put this? It would become as originally thought to a red blood cell in deformity. As I have read across medical articles and journals that the medical field seems to be misinterpreting, comes from medical terminology that is not chosen to confuse, but rather assist the understanding in a proper and appropriate manner. So when they have medical journals in the medical library and it refers to disease when going about identifying cancer, when your cells become deformed and there is something of either physical trauma or exposure to a bacteria that may or may not cause either a bacterial infection or disease, which it sounds scary at face value. It does. And face value is a type of phrase that is commonly referred to as in order to quickly give point, understanding to a clear, concise thought that's quickly referenced. So face value is what, as it appears quickly to thought, interpretation, perspective, etc., so forth. So when the cell becomes deformed and the body does not attack itself, the cell is looking for something normal in the body to understand how to function in the body. It's not attacking your body. It just, the emotions and it's not so much biased, but rather commonly suggested or easily first thought. So it's your first starting point to where you have to adjust yourself and where your thoughts are headed. And science is neither right or wrong. Science is as is. And the mathematical aspect in science is having a definitive that allows you to go back, forward, up or down in any direction, to propose hypotheses that are able to give theoretical concepts its theory. And that's where I'm saying medicine can become that overwhelming, that confusing, and it's no one's fault. It never is, because it's extremely stressful. You can see, say, a rash. You see a rash, it can be one of a million things. It could be an allergic reaction. It can be something, everybody, ringworm. And obviously that is not to scientific naming, but everybody understands what a ringworm is. It could be a rug burn. And even so, that's where the terminology allows physicians to pinpoint something specific biologically that gives them more, which is the stress part. More, too much, overwhelming. So as I was saying, when the cell is deformed and it searches through the body to understand itself, how to function, it's not attempting to attack you or hurt you. It's something that is nature. It's beyond. In a sense, it's beyond our comprehension, as it is ever changing, but it's something that we find haste as we encounter. And in attempting to somehow get ahead of something that regardless will take time, there's time to breathe. So when the cell finds in the body a specific area that allows it to somehow function to its only capacity, as it has been somehow deformed, our our option has been chemotherapy. And where I agree with it, there's something about what stops us as we become overwhelmed and we want an answer immediately. Neither here nor there. I believe each cancer patient, when medicated with an antibiotic, will give an answer to how the cancer traveled through the body. and to understand what the deformed cell beyond my initial thought will allow a physician, researcher, scientist to assist us through this. For a long time they said cell phones cause cancer. Well, when you use your touch screen, you're exposing your cells to something that may cause a deformity to the cell itself because of the interaction with something that requires your cells specifically to give you that luxury in life. So stylish or safer in a large way, your finger is just easier. And it is. And in a lot of ways, as people have used cell phones for an extremely long time, I believe that researching them and how the body reacts to a touchscreen will allow them extra research information that is simple and easy to go about without harming the body, in order to understand how, as the cell is strong enough to hold in its structure, where in that moment, which you would have to be careful, obviously, because as you go about research, you can cause cancer if you did not have it. So, it's not something that I think people should find much fear regarding. Not actually. There's a cycle to life. But otherwise, science and properly going about the pursuit academically, intellectually, can be rewarding as long as the intention and the method are sound. One day we'll get it all. One day.